The Bible opens with a cry of God, bringing life into being. A story which tells us of how God speaks to us simultaneously from the text and from the world. God's cry creates the world and sends us into the world. Mission is announced when God cries. Where God is in mission, there God's cry can be heard. God's cries and our cries are joined, as we know from Abel in Genesis, as we know from Moses in Exodus, as we know from Jesus in the Gospel of Mark, and as we know from the Spirit in Romans. God's cries and our cries are joined. And God's Spirit says to the churches, "Listen then, if you have ears. Listen to God's cry of pain in Aleppo, in Gaza, in West Papua, and in Kashmir, and hear how God urges us to work for a just peace. Listen to God's cry of joy in the breaking of chains of oppression, and be swept up in movements that bring freedom. Listen to God's cry of outrage at our refusal to see the intrinsic worth of each and all, and be challenged to dismantle systems that exploit. Listen to God's cry giving birth to new possibilities in the midst of our resistance to change, and open up to all that God can do. Listen to God's cry in creation's woundedness, and be inspired to live more gently upon the earth." In all these things, listen to God's cry of invitation, and join our voices in a song of hope, and travel the road in the wilderness that is holy with God's coming amongst us. The Council for World Mission is beginning a process called Hearing God's Cry, a process which invites churches to listen to voices they perhaps ignore, voices that may be drowned out by the internal noise we make, a process which asks us to find our location in the stories of those who have responded to God's call. As we listen, reflect, and discern, God's cry will reveal our calling and our direction in response. And as partners, we will try to find the companionship and courage to respond together.